Yeah. So just hi Sunday. Okay, can every other person hear me? So Sunday, you're not connected to your audio. I can see it from here. Yeah, so I think he needs to log out and relog. But can everybody else hear me? You can just put it on the chat.
Yes, we can hear you, sir. I can hear you personally. I can hear you.
Right, right. I want to believe Kodichi and Simon can hear me too. So Sunday's audio, I think he has some problem with it.
Yes, please. Can you hear you clearly and clear?
All right, great. So that was from only Sunday. All right. Welcome to the closeout session. I'm going to try to keep this very, very brief. I mean, we've done this over 10 times. The same, helping people find purpose, discover, or I mean, just helping to set them on track pretty much. And one thing always stand out. I've always noticed one thing, and this is what I've always noticed. I've noticed that people start out with so much fire. It's the beginning of the year. There is this motivation, there is zeal, and then somewhere around February, people just begin to pan out, and then that's it. And then you don't get to see them again, or you don't even get to hear from them. You don't, in fact, they pretty much just lost everything. So it would not be about what you do in these 5 days, right? I mean, in this entire 5 days, I have seen varying degrees of commitment. It is work. I went through the same journey myself, and trust me, I didn't find it easy. It is work. Most times you get tired of looking at those literature. You get tired of all of, it seems very, very, very demanding. Um, I have gone for 60-day stretch trainings like that, and one thing would usually stand out. At some point, you get weary. Why am I saying so? I noticed that a lot of us have probably not even use the workbook.
Can you hear me now?
I also noticed that a lot of us have not, gone through workbook 1 and workbook 2. So we've pretty much not even gotten our EQ word for the year, or what our focus would be for the year, and all of that stuff, right? Now, if you've not done that, it's also a good place for you to take the next couple of days and go over those things again. You might not get them at once. When you go through them over and over and over and over again, you now begin to understand from varying degrees, varying, angles. And the result rate for what we've done, it's consistent. And that's why we don't interfere so much. This time, this closeout, we only would have this session during the closeout. So we try as much as possible not to make it a motivational session and then somebody is trying to come and tell you aspire to perspire and all of that kind of stuff. No, we just put together materials and then we want you to go through them. We want you to learn from people who have lived this life, because we are on a journey to ourselves, right? So as much as we're on a journey, we also learn. So I go through those materials with you every day. I've been doing that, same materials. I mean, some of the resources changed in this particular cohort, right? But I ensure to go through them over and over and over again with you, so that I also keep myself updated, right? And all of that. Now, if you are able to follow through and keep a consistency in terms of habits, because I mean, from next week, Monday, there will be no resources, there will be no material, there will be no prompt saying, okay, do this, do that, and do this. So, I mean, you pretty much would be by yourself. Again, I know most churches will start fasting by next week. So yeah, some people might still be focused. But then again, what next? After January, what next? What happens? Because it's a long journey. What happens? So, I mean, I want to hear feedback from each and every one of us, like live feedback. How was it for you? you can't hear anything because your audio, you need to log out and log back in. That's why you can't hear anything. Your audio is not. Sorry, let me tell him to log out. Can you hear me now? Infinix Smart, can you hear me now? Okay. All right. All right. I see Charity has joined. Sunday Paul is trying to rejoin. I think he's Infinix Smart. I think he's having some network problem. So we'll just proceed. Yeah, so over the years, what I've noticed is I see a lot of people, you know, 30 people who say, oh, I want to do this. Oh, they're very eager. I want to join your next purple discovery class. And I tell them it's not easy. It is free, but it's not easy. And they're like, no, 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 no. And then when they start day one, you saw how we needed to excuse a lot of people. And that's how it has always been. One set were like 30. Trust me, at the end of the day, there were not more than 5 persons that saw it through. And out of those 5 persons, it was one of them that his testimony always motivates me to continue. As at the time early last year, when he joined this cohort, just like you guys, he was out of a job, displaced, not knowing what to do, pretty much confused. After this program, I mean, he said it himself. I didn't prompt him. I mean, I went we were having a hangout last year, just sort of catch up. So every end of the year, I have some group of friends, some group of, like a community where we just meet up and then we'll just catch up and then try to talk about how the year had been. And then here he was talking about all the things that he was able to do in the year and how he's now deeply into Forex and digital currency mining and all of that stuff. And he got that direction from here. And he's really big right now. I mean, he got married and all of that stuff. I mean, in a space of 1 year. Now, I don't want to go into my own life, how 2023 was for me, because, man, it was like the best year. And it's just simply following this Ikigai model for me. And that's it, right? So I've seen all sorts. And typically what we do in this session is just to tell you that the harder part is the one you have to do yourself. So the easiest part is the one that we have to send you materials and say, watch this and watch that. Not all of them might have made sense to you, but some of them might have made sense to you, right? And you might have picked something, not everything, but you've picked something here and there, and then you probably have a plan of what you want to do and how you want to do it. So New Year resolutions, like a lot of people would do, if this is what you achieve this year, I tell you, you already have achieved for the year. I can beat my chest and tell you, if this 5D, I mean, amongst the people, if we're to start recording people that have started to utilize their year properly, you're one of them. You've gone through this session of discovery and trying to find yourself or reinvent yourself. You have started on a good note. Now, what now is remaining is how would you carry on from here? As we leave you, as we hand over, how would you carry on? So that's the question. So before we proceed, I just would take feedback. I mean, I'll take feedback from everybody. Like, how was this past 5 days? What was it like for you? What were your expectations met? If your expectations were not met, please say so. I mean, it could help us in, reevaluating and all of that. In what areas were your expectations met? What are your next steps? And what do you intend to do? How do you intend to utilize this knowledge? What do you intend to do in terms of passing this forward? And following this, what are the thoughts? What are the ideas that are now coming through your head. So I mean, this session, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. This feedback shouldn't take more than 5 minutes and we should be done. I mean, anybody can go first. As you speak, if you can show your video, it would be good so that at least we can even put a face to who is speaking. If you cannot, it's fine, but I would rather see the faces of the people that are speaking. All right, so let me pause here, and I don't know who wants to go first. Anybody can go first, it's fine. You can just unmute your mic and just go first.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Hi, Amos. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. I hope you can hear me, and I hope others too can hear me. Okay. My name is Amos Isemege, like I introduced myself. First, let me say thank you, Mr. Zach. This is actually an opportunity to interact to one-on-one. I think I'm so grateful, really, really grateful. Okay, so for me, the Tiger time really worked for me. I mean, this is, to be honest, this is like the second time I came across the word IKIGAI. And the first time I didn't really know the meaning because I didn't go deep into it. But this cohort provided me the opportunity to go deeper into the meaning, the origin, purpose discoveries, the Bible, daily Bible readings were so helpful. The YouTube videos were super fantastic. In fact, there are times there are videos I watch them like twice, thrice. Then what we love, how to monetize what we do. Passion is why do we wake up every morning? What motivates us? What do we do? What can we do? What is that thing we can do without getting tired? So I learned so much, and it's been a really a fantastic journey that I won't even mind repeating. So I've discovered so much. It has even given me an opportunity to sit down and think deeply. I mean, what do I love doing? And is it different from what I am doing? What is that? I mean, who am I doing it for? And how do I get paid for what I do? So can I share an experience?
Yes, go on.
Okay, so I remember when in the university, for me, I derive joy when I can impact somebody's life. Not when I say impact, not basically monetarily. I mean, I just love to contribute to people. I love to.
Can you speak more louder? It's like you're speaking to an earpiece. Put the earpiece to your mouth, yeah.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yeah.
So is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, so for me, I derive joy when I'm able to contribute to somebody's life. I mean, even mentors. I approach relationship with what I can also bring to the table, even if I know you're superior to me. But there are ways I could also contribute, even if it's to volunteer to help you write, volunteer to help you do anything, just to also contribute to the relationship. So that helped me a lot while in school because I was able to, I mean, impact my colleague's life. And that gesture was reciprocated when we got to final year and they're like, okay, we need somebody to be our president. We need somebody because we do zoning, they zone the faculty president to department by department. And that year we were opportune to zone to our department and we were to choose from our class who should be our president. And unanimously, everybody like, okay, let him go. Because I mean, it has been, everybody could virtually, a vast majority of people could say, he has helped me in one way or the other. He has helped me in one way or the other. So that's how also I became an HR when I started working professionally. Impact. So this cohort was also provided, in fact, it has given me a deeper understanding of what my purpose is, what I enjoy doing, and then what I should be doing and who I should be doing it for. But my question now is, I typed something on the group. Maybe you didn't really pay attention to it. Realistically, this is my question, so I wish I would like you to explain or would like you to answer. Realistically, we find people doing what they do not love or what they do not enjoy doing. I mean, there are people who look forward to 9 a.m. I mean, when they go to the office, one of the videos say when they go to the office by 9 a.m., they look forward to lunchtime. From lunchtime, they are looking forward to 5 p.m. when they will go home. So you will now find people doing what they do not like just because they want to food their bills. People need to work to make money. So you just virtually wants to do something that will put food on the table. Your love or your passion aligning with what you're doing, notwithstanding. So you just see yourself doing something that does not align with your passion. Then the next thing is that sometimes you have a passion, but the opportunity, maybe let's say it's a particular sector, somebody might like to be in an NGO space, for instance, where you can do maybe sensitization, poverty alleviation, trainings and all that, and then you do not have the opportunity to see yourself there because the opportunities there are limited. And another thing is, so for somebody who loves teaching like myself, a lot of people be like, oh, he doesn't have the requisite experience, so why can he teach? So all those factors contribute to, should I say, to limit one's ability in pursuing his or her passion. So I just want, in that case, what should one do? I don't know, say if you understand my question, or should I rephrase?
It's fine. It's fine. I get your question. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
those are general questions. Okay, so it's part of our discussion for today, but since we're already there, we can just take it. So typically there's something called the cash cow theory when you're dealing with things like this. So what it means is I mean, just use the cow as an analogy, and the cow and dogs. When a cow is going to give birth, typically they give birth to one or two cows. That's it, one or two. They don't give birth to a litter. But when you have dogs, you have a litter of dogs. You have 13, 18. Some will die on the way, some of them they'll grow straight, they'll dash some out like that, like that. That's how it is. So using that analogy, a cow can be seen to be your passion or your purpose, and then a dog can be seen to be your ability, your side hustle, and all of that stuff. So what does this all mean if you put it contextually? It simply means that it takes time, or it might take time for one's passion to develop to a point where you can rely solely on that passion to use it to fulfill purpose. So passion is what you love doing, but more often, or sometimes, most time, very few of us really, really live our purpose with passion. So that means there are lots of people, lots of us that will do things that we do not love to do because we need to survive. Point is, passion also, your purpose also matures, your purpose also grows. There are also developments, there are also a wait stage. There are lots of things that go into your purpose. So let's say, for example, you are meant to be a musician. And that's what your purpose is. You're meant to be a Michael Jackson and all of that stuff. Now, the point is, before you get to the point where you can now start to influence the whole world and you're now big and all of that, there is a training stage. There is a wait stage. There is a skill honing stage. There is a skill development, skill acquisition, training, school. There are lots of things that happen within a timeline. All of these things that are happening is contributing towards leading you to that big mature cow that when you kill that cow, it can feed the whole village. That's how your purpose is. Your purpose is like that big thing that can feed generations, feed the world and all of that stuff. But the cow needs to grow. But the dog grows very fast. From how many months? The dog is moving everywhere and they're running everywhere. They're very fast. They move fast. That's why they say dog leg. They're everywhere. So the dog is like your ability. Those other things that you're going to develop, those other abilities that you find that you can do, but you are not necessarily passionate about them, but you see that you can do them. The reasons why those things are there is to support you in the time when you are building your purpose, in the time when you are nurturing your purpose. So what that musician is supposed to do, or the musician finds out that, oh, he has very good administrative skills. He's an admin person, very, very good. So he gets a job in 9 to 5, and he goes to work 9 o'clock and close 5 o'clock. And he's great there. He's doing it. He does not love it, but he can do it. He would rather be singing. But the point is, if he starts to sing at this point, he will go broke. He will stay broke. So there would not, realistically, he would not even have money to push his music far. He would not have, because he will now become a nuisance, staying in his father's house, eating his father's food, because he's trying to be a musician and he's saying one day my dream will open up. And this happens to a lot of people. Sometimes in relationship, the guy says, this is what I want to do. And then he's telling the girl, just bear with me, bear with me. And the girl is the one carrying the bill, paying for him, feeding him. And at a point, she gets tired. And then she walks away. Now, it is not because there was no dream. It is not because there was no passion. It's because there was no wisdom to it. So all these other abilities, when you're discovering, you find out that there are other things you can do. There are other abilities. There are other places. There are other, things that you are able to do. Now, those things are meant to help you solidify whilst you are building upon. It is first of all an understanding. Now, what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to be running your purpose and your passion in the background in those early stages. So that musician is supposed to be going using his evenings, go to the club, go and play jazz in some jazz club, go to the studio, use his weekend, and he's not a nuisance to anybody. He's getting money from his job. He's fueling his passion with it. He's getting money from his ability. He's fueling his passion. He's getting paid from his ability. He's fueling his passion. If he does not have a plan, frustration now sets in, now creeps in. Frustration is the point where this is what I want to do. That NGO, that training, all of that stuff you want to do, there is an easier way to do it. I give you a little bit of my story. I'm very passionate about training. I'm very passionate about teaching young people, youths, and help these kinds of things. There was a time I was doing this without no backbone, no support. This was all I was doing. Guess what? I was getting frustrated because funds were not coming in. I was dedicating time. I was traveling everywhere. I was doing all of that stuff. I was not getting funds to fund it. And I wasn't getting sponsors either because I had not built it to a point. So frustration now sets in because I can see what I want to do. I am passionate about it, but it's not paying me. So I'm seeing it, but it's not paying me. So what did I do? I did a deep soul search and I started to realize are there other abilities? Are there other things I can do? And I found HR. Now, when I found HR, let me tell you the strategy that I used. I can teach, I can train, I can do all of that stuff I've never been taught in my whole life. I just know how to do these things. I needed a vehicle, something that is sellable, something that can yet returns, right? That I can use to drive that vehicle. That was what I needed. That was the connection. And I found it in HR because HR has learning and development, training, coaching, all of that stuff. And I have all of these things. I simply plugged my passion into a profession. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So I picked my passion and plugged it into a profession, the HR profession. So I am running my passion inside the profession because there is a vehicle for it. And that vehicle is human resource. Human resource. So everything has to do with. So professionally, human resource people are in need. Organizations need them. However, how I do my own HR is different from how everybody else does their own HR. Why? Because I have plugged my passion into it. So I can innovate. I can come up with various HR concepts, various things that were prior not HR, but because of how much I see myself in HR, how much I love HR. I have been able to plug this thing into the profession. And that's how, over the years, it has worked for me. So what happens? My profession pays me to fuel my passion. So I get paid. And then this thing I'm doing now, I do it like side B, and I do it easily. And I can finance it. Yeah, so before we proceed, let me just let us know that I couldn't use the official Zoom account. For some reason, it was not connecting and time was going, right? So this will just keep going. I mean, this is the 40 minutes free because this is my own personal account, but I was trying to reload the official account, but it wasn't going. So yeah. So if it logs you out, just relog back in using the same link, same link, same link. And I'm going to be fast. So for those of us that are having network issues, I mean, I did say it, work on your network. You keep going out and coming in and going out and coming in and da. But I mean, a couple of people have been stable here. Amos, Charity. I mean, work on your network, so that you're stable. A couple of us, your audio is not connected, so you cannot hear me. You probably want to log out and log back in. So that's how you do it. Until your abilities have fueled your passion so well that your passion can now stand on its own. I tell you about Linda IKIGAI. So Linda IKIGAI, if I call Linda IKIGAI, what comes to everybody's mind? Blogging or gossip. Yeah, gossip blogger. She's a millionaire in dollars, but there's a lots of stuff she has done prior to now. She had done beauty. She had sold clothes. She had done a lot of stuff. All of those things, she was doing them to get stability and fuel her passion, which was blogging or gossiping. So you gotta be strategic about how you plug your moves. Not everybody will be lucky to work according to their passion. Oh, I love to teach, and I'll be a teacher. Or I love to teach. Let me go to a secondary school and teach. And then I'm not making money out of that. Frustration will set in. And once frustration sets in, it becomes hard. I hope I've answered your question. Right. Is there anybody else who wants to tell us how this 5 days has been for them? How has your experience been in this 5 days? What are the key takeaways for you? Again, like I said, I didn't see so much deep diving in this set. When I say deep diving, because I read most of your feedback and all of that, they were not so I can tell when people have dived into it very well. Most of the feedback that were coming were just basic. So it was pretty much just giving us back the same thing. Oh, I learned that. No, I learned that wake up by this time, your passion. Yeah, that's surface. But if you dive, I think a couple of us try to do that deep dive. And if you see my response, you would understand what it meant. I needed you to go deeper than those videos, deeper than the surface. I needed you to go deep down to extract the intent. Because Miles Monroe said something. He said the graveyard is the richest place. Books that were never written, songs that were never sung, things that were never done, you'll find in the graveyard. Okay, so is there anybody else who wants to go next? I want to hear how these 5 days have been for you. So Amos started. Do we go the way I'm seeing us here? Who wants to go next? 5 minutes for this particular call to end, and then you log back in. Please, when it goes off, log back in using the same link. I will be very fast in the next log back in. Yeah. Yeah. Who is that? So these are the issues. You have people logging in. I will not proceed if I'm not getting feedback. I can't be talking to myself. I won't proceed. So we'll just be looking at ourselves.
I can hear you. I can hear you very clearly, sir. I can hear you very, very clearly.
I know you can hear me. It seems you're the only person here, and that's disturbing for me. So most times what a couple of people do is they just log on and just go and do every other thing. Just go and be doing something else. Like it's like someone was even pounding there and they didn't know that they were unmuted, they were pounding. So if I have just you here, I can easily just send you the videos from last session and you can just watch them and we're fine. Yeah. So if I don't have anybody else giving me feedback from what the session was, how this 5 days was for them, we can pretty much just close right now. And Amos, I can send you the recordings from the last sessions and you can go through them.
Hello, good evening.
Yep, good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening to you.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Okay, so my name is Kodichi Ubabuko, and this 5 days has been really exciting, particularly eye-opening for me, because I used to think that I'm self-aware. I used to think that I knew a lot of things about me. But during one of the sessions, the video that was on the personality test, I got to learn more about myself. And then I also realized that I really did not, I seemed to be ungrateful about little things, particularly little wins. But watching that video, and it really opened my eyes to a lot, because I realized that if I'm not grateful for little wins and enjoying every moment of my life, then it's just like I would live a life that is wasted. And for me, that really stuck with me. And I'm really beginning to be very intentional about it. Also, the video that were discovering your purpose by Malcolm, like I wrote in my feedback on that particular day, the fact that he said something and that had to do with whatever makes you angry, you really need to look at that, you really need to check that, because probably that's where your purpose lies. And right now, I'm beginning to look back at some of those things that really, really makes me angry. And I mean, every other person is comfortable with it and all of that. But so it really taught me a lot. On the surface, is like, why should something that makes me angry, be something that my purpose, could be lying in it? But thinking about it, I can now, it makes a lot of sense to me. And I really would not want to bore you with so much details, because like I said, it's been really eye-opening for me. I really, really am grateful for this whole coaching session, this coaching class. And I've still not gotten my EQ word for the year. I'm still working on that. I really want to be intentional about everything that I do this year. And so this class is one that after today, I'm not just saying, oh, it's over. No, it's something I really need to go back to a lot of things. Even the videos, I don't know. I hope we'll still have access to go back and watch, because I really need to go back and watch some of those videos again. Just because for me, when I watch videos, especially the ones that I'm particular about,